Hello, I'm standing on a very small street not very far from St. John Lateran Church, and we've just come out of the massive Thanksgiving, and I'm with Graydon Nichols from New Brunswick. And so, welcome, Graydon. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Yes. So this is your first time in Rome?
No, not my first time, but I was here first time in 1983 as a tourist.
Okay. So nothing to do with Kateri's beatification at that time?
Oh, at that time, no. I was involved with the working group on indigenous populations in Geneva, so we had some time off. We came here.
Great. What is it like to be here in Rome?
Oh, well, this is fantastic. This pilgrimage, that's what I call the pilgrimage. It's been a beautiful experience for both my wife and I, and we're here through the sponsorship of the Knights of Columbus. I'm a 4th degree knight, and they asked me to come here as an Indigenous person in my capacity also as Lieutenant Governor to be here. And it's been a wonderful experience, just overwhelming the canonization yesterday.
Yes. What was a moment that struck you in that being there as a part of that large congregation at the canonization?
Well, very fortunate. We were right near the altar. And from where I was, of course, you could see the banner of Blessed St. Kateri hanging. And also when the Pope read out finally the acceptance of all 7 saints. But it was wonderful, and to hear her, and it was just amazing. I was just overwhelmed. My thoughts reflected back to when I was just a young guy under reserve, and I would go visit my grandmother, and she had the picture of, at the time, Venerable Kateri on the wall. And I didn't know the story at the time, but over time I've learned her story and her journey, and it was a very powerful experience for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think Kateri is going to do for us? In light of what she has been doing for us over the last 322 years, what is she going to do for us today?
Well, I think first of all, Kateri, will be recognized as almost the saint of the oppressed, because she, as a young person, of course, was bullied, she was ridiculed, she was made fun of, and she did all that for her love of Jesus. And so I think in today's world, for people who are bullied, for people who are ridiculed, I think they'll turn to Kateri, not only from our First Nations community, but throughout the world, because I think they'll identify her as a young person who was treated as an outcast. And yet, out of that deep love for Jesus, now we celebrate her sainthood.
Mm-hmm. We were just in the St. John Lateran Church, and we had the massive Thanksgiving. And it was a very large crowd of people there. The congregation it looked like there were a lot of First Nations people in that congregation. What did it feel like for you to be a part of that congregation, knowing that there were people from across Canada and throughout the United States that were there?
Well, our experience with that actually began on the vigil when we were there, and we had a small prayer service, but looking at the actual DVD that was presented outlining the miracle and the people behind that. And we had an opportunity to spend time with the family yesterday afternoon to talk to them about that experience. But again today, there were so many people, and we've met Aboriginal representatives from right across this country, from British Columbia all the way to the East Coast, and then also many Native Americans. And this is fantastic. I mean, I'd say there were at least 1,500 people at that church service this morning.
Yes.
It may be even more, but I know there were a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kateri is a young woman. She didn't live for very long, and yet she goes on living in the hearts of people.
She will. I think she's going to touch the youth. For example, when I was at this place, I made contact with a Catholic Christian group who go to universities and speak to students. And in fact, I've made a contact with them, so I'm going to go make a presentation to them about Our Lady Guadalupe and Blessed Kateri, combine the two of them together. But I think, and they told me that the young students, young university students, and these are non-Aboriginal students in Canada, they're being drawn to Kateri because she was only 24. Right. Her 20 to 24 in that short span of 4 years, once she became baptized and got totally absorbed with Jesus, it was amazing.
Yes.
And I think that's what they're saying. The young people are looking for someone. Yes. And so maybe Blessed Kateri will be that saint.
So it's going to be important for us to be the teachers within this modern culture ourselves, to be able to, again, let these young people know about who Kateri is. In the way that you, as you started out, in the way that your mother had that one photo picture of Kateri,
Yeah.
and it was at that point she was just a venerable Kateri.
Yes, venerable. That's right, 1940s. But the other thing I think is, I mean, she's our second Native American saint, North American. I mean, Saint Juan Diego was the first one.
Exactly.
But the story of Saint Juan Diego and now the story of Blessed Kateri, I think, are going to touch the lives of a lot of people in our country, in Canada, in our hemisphere, actually. And I think Saint Kateri is going to be recognized as a universal saint because we're dealing with people who are struggling around the world. And I think they'll see her as a young person. Plus, I think her indigenous culture, she enculturated the church. And I think her identity as Algonquin as well as Mohawk, and now everybody's going to claim her. I think that is going to be of great service to our church.
Yeah, yeah. A wonderful link, a wonderful catalyst of bringing communion.
Oh,
Common
yes.
union among us all. As
Oh, she
Canadians,
will.
Aboriginal, non-Aboriginal.
Well, you know, when she was born, there was no border. When she died, there was no border. And now she's a saint of both.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay, thanks
Thank
very
you
much.
very much. Appreciate
okay.
that.
Right
Okay.
then. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Oh, well, I guess it's. I got to go eat.
Yes.
They want you guys to eat too, eh?
Okay, we will.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.